Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sorry, this is literally my first video I'm recording in the past 2 weeks. If you haven't seen my last video, I definitely recommend go checking that out. But yeah, I'm sorry guys that I haven't been very consistent with my uploads. I will try to do better during the summer when I have a lot more free time, which is in about a week from now. So, and also sorry that I haven't been doing reviews on SmackDown as much as I have been Raw as of lately, because I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, I think Monday Night Raw has honestly been way better than Friday Night SmackDown. I think a lot of it has to do with time constraint too, because on Netflix they can pretty much do the time limit however they like. There's really no limit to that. It's normally like 3 hours with ads if you're watching it live, and then like 2.5 hours whenever they take the ads off. Versus SmackDown has a little bit of a limit with the 3 hour mark, and I don't know, just a lot of the matches and segments and stuff that they've been doing on Raw compared to SmackDown as of lately have just been more interesting to me. There are some cool things happening on SmackDown right now. Like there's Aleister Black who just returned and beat up The Miz. I was really excited about that. They just confirmed a Fatal 4 for the U.S. title at Backlash, which I'm really excited about. The John Cena Randy Orton stuff's interesting, but other than that, like I don't know, there's not much on SmackDown that I'm actually excited about versus this stuff on Raw that I'm getting ready to talk about I'm actually excited about. We just had Becky Lynch return and turn heel on Lyra Valkyria, and now they're going to fight for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at Backlash, which Becky Lynch will most likely win, and maybe Bayley will show up as well, and we'll see. Plus, you got this new faction with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker that has me intrigued. So, I don't know, I'm just really enjoying Raw a lot more right now. But speaking of Raw, let's get into the Go Home show. This is the final Raw before Backlash this Saturday. So I'm really excited to get into this with you guys. So the confirmed match card for the show was Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez. That's going to be a good match. Otis versus Rusev. This is Rusev's first match since he's come back to the WWE. This is his return match. Penta versus JD McDonough. An appearance by Becky Lynch. And the latest from Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman. So I think that's it. Let's dive deeper into it. Let's get into it. So, as you can see, Paul Heyman interrupts Jey Uso. I was going to make a joke about Jey Uso calling out Logan Paul, and then he got interrupted by the wrong Paul, Jake Paul, but nah, just kidding. It's Paul Heyman. Someone that he actually knows very well because they have some history in the bloodline together. But yeah, like I said, Jey Uso was going to call out Logan Paul because they've been talking on the mic for the past 2 weeks now, and he called him out, but then it said, like, you hear, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. So then we get that, and Paul Heyman actually talks about the reason why he betrayed CM Punk and Roman Reigns in this segment. I'm not going to go into full detail, but you can watch it on WWE's channel, like I always say. But yeah, Paul Heyman says why he betrayed CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns left him with Solo and the Tongans to deal with, and then they put him through a table at Madison Square Garden. And then he betrayed CM Punk because CM Punk put him in a really difficult position at WrestleMania, where he had to choose between them. He didn't necessarily say, I don't think, why he necessarily joined Seth Rollins, other than just, like, the same thing they said the last week, like, they're the future and all that crap, but, like, yeah, but Paul Heyman had some interesting points. His motivation, I think, is really good, and we even got to see an interesting side of Jey Uso. Like, he was a little aggressive here, so I found it really interesting, and also Paul Heyman, kind of crashed out a little bit. He had a little bit of a crash out. But one of the things he said that was interesting, which we'll get to in the main event later tonight, but he said Braun Breaker was phase 1 of their plan, and phase 2 is the World Heavyweight Championship, which is currently being held by Jey Uso, and Seth Rollins' needs for the power and control it brings. And then Paul Heyman goes on to challenge Jey Uso, or he goes to say Jey Uso, that Seth Rollins wants that championship, like I mentioned. And he says he's going to give Jey Uso a favor, as everyone gets one of those nowadays. He gives Jey Uso the choice that he has to fight Seth freaking Rollins, but he at least gives him the choice to pick the time and the place. And so, I think you know what Jey Uso is going to say. He's going to want to do it later, I would say right here, right now, later tonight in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Which is crazy, because I believe this is the first time we've had the World Heavyweight Championship on the line on an episode of Monday Night Raw in the past 7 months. It's been that long, so I was actually really excited about this. And then as soon as it got announced to be tonight, I was like, well, there's no way Jey Uso was going to win. There's no way Jey Uso was going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Sorry, that Seth Rollins is going to win this thing. I thought they were going to save this match for like Money in the Bank or SummerSlam so that Jey could at least have a lengthy title reign. But now I'm like, oh my god, his World Heavyweight title run is going to be way shorter than his Intercontinental title run. This is going to be bad. Little did I know I was wrong, but we'll get into that later. I think that was it for that. Yeah. And then we get into a really exciting match here. Penta versus JD McDumma, as I call him, because he's dumb. Or also JD McBighead, because he has a really big head. Anyways, not even interference from Finn Balor, Carlito, and Chad Gable could secure the win for JD when he squared off with Penta in one-on-one competition. So, Penta, this man had to go through all of Judgment Day, basically. He was fighting JD one-on-one, but he had to deal with Finn Balor and Carlito on the outside of the ring. He took out JD and Carlito on the outside. He put JD back in the ring, and then Finn Balor starts to go after him. Luckily, I don't think the ref saw it, but like he was suspicious, and so then he notices that Finn was standing there, and he gets him out of there. He ejects him from ringside. And then Penta's about to go to the top rope a little later after that. And then Chad Gable shows up. I'm honestly surprised El Grande Americano didn't show up. But instead we got Chad Gable. And even he couldn't stop Penta. I guess they were arguing because they had a segment last week. So they aren't getting along right now. But Chad Gable almost cost Penta the match. But then that still didn't stop him because Penta still won. He dealt with a 4-on-1 situation and he still won the match. That really shows how big of a star he is right now. So, yeah, I'm really excited about Penta. I think Penta versus Chad Gable, if they run that match back again, because they already did it once, I think it would cook. They're going to do it again, and it's going to be just beautiful. And then we had a backstage segment with A Town Down Under. It looked like they were going to do a tag team match at first, because Austin Theory and Grayson Waller were both in their trunks, like they were both in their gear. And so I thought, okay, are we actually getting a tag team match right now? But then it actually gets revealed. Grayson Waller told Adam Pearce that he was backing out of the match and he was going to give it to Grayson Waller, or that he was going to give it to Austin Theory instead. That Grayson Waller was going to give his match to Austin Theory. And so then Austin Theory asks who his opponent is, and Grayson Waller just says, it's better if it's a surprise. And so then I'm sitting here thinking, who else could return? Ilya Dragunov. I was thinking Goldberg for some reason, which we'll get into Backlash later because there's some rumors about that. But yeah, I don't know. There's all these names. I can't think in my head right now, but there was all these names coming to my head whenever it first happened. And I'm like, who could it possibly be? And then I hear, it's Finite! And then we get Sheamus coming back, which was not one of the names that came to my head, by the way. I was not expecting this, and it was a nice surprise. Throughout this entire match, Austin Theory was begging Grayson Waller, like, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this? So they keep teasing, for the past year now, it feels like, they've been teasing this breakup between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and I think it's finally about to happen soon. I'm putting all my faith into Rui. I'm betting on this. The Austin Theory is going to have that babyface turn any day now. I'm really, really praying. And yeah, obviously Sheamus defeated Austin Theory because Austin Theory was not ready for Sheamus. And then something also that I wasn't, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I don't ever watch Raw live, so I wasn't able to see this because whenever, after it goes live, Netflix starts to take certain segments and all the advertisements off, which makes it shorter, and I actually did not see this promo. I think I skipped completely past it. But what's interesting is they had a segment with Karrion Kross, which he's getting like these insane crowd reactions, by the way. Like, everyone loves him. I've been a Karrion Kross guy for a while now. I've loved him for like the past year. And I think people are finally starting to realize how good he is. I just love everything about his character. He literally is the one behind all of people's heel turns, it seems like. But what's interesting here is, so he joins Kathy Kelly for a promo where his growing connection with the audience was on full display, like I said. The crowd was giving him this loud pop every time he was talking. He says, devil you know versus devil you don't lie was prominently used at the end. And he's calling his fans bad guys, something that's going to continue to get him over with the WWE universe. And also something this, I don't know this mentions, but he actually said Killer. He referred to himself as Killer because his name used to be Killer Kross. And he actually said that in this segment, and the crowd popped crazy for that. Like, this pushed this man WWE because he is getting crazy crowd reactions, even though he's really not supposed to be. Like, this was never planned, I don't think. But man, give this guy a title. Like, give him the IC title from Dom or something, please. Like, that would be crazy. And then we had the face-to-face between the Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. This was actually an interesting back-and-forth promo. I don't really remember much of what they said, but one line that actually had me laughing my head off was Lyra said, "I've defended this title more than you've even shown up this year." And I was like, dang. I mean, she's kind of right, because she's only showed up at WrestleMania, and she's only shown up on a couple Raws. And Lyra's defended that title a couple times, like Ivy Nile, Dakota Kai, maybe someone else I'm forgetting. But yeah, she's defended that title more times than Becky's even been there. That's crazy. And Becky keeps talking about how she made Lyra, but she didn't make Lyra. Lyra made herself. Like, yeah, I mean, this was an interesting. I definitely would say to check it out, because there were some interesting one-liners in this promo. They were going back and forth on the mic, obviously. So, oh yeah, and there was this like recycling line. It's like, took out the trash, I took out the recycling. That was a little cringy, but I mean, other than that, like, I'm actually really excited about this feud. I think it's going to lead to probably a Backlash, like I said, Becky Lynch winning their Intercontinental Championship. Maybe Bayley returns, and we said Bayley versus Becky at a later PLE for that title. Maybe a triple threat with Lyra. I think that would be interesting. And yeah, Lyra said, "I've been defending it more days than you've come to work this year." That was a crazy line. And then we had a match that I was really excited to see. Io Sky taking on Roxanne Perez. There wasn't much to this. The ending was kind of weird, though. It's like, roll up, another roll up, roll up to roll up, over and over and over again, until eventually Io Sky gets the 1, 2, 3. And then, me knowing Roxanne Perez and Julia in NXT, and knowing that they're currently playing these bad guys, I'm like, I'm a little confused, because Roxanne Perez, of all things that she could possibly do after she loses this match, goes to actually shake Io Sky's hand, and they shake hands, and Roxanne Perez walks out of the ring, and I'm thinking, there's no way Roxanne Perez is good now, right? Right? And then, of course, Julia comes out of nowhere and attacks Io Sky from behind in the middle of the ring. And so then Roxanne Perez goes to join her and beat down Io Sky. And it's a 2-on-1 melee. So I'm thinking, okay, Rhea Ripley's going to come out and help her again, just like she's done the past couple weeks, right? Well, no. The commentators acknowledge the fact that she is apparently in Australia right now. I'm assuming she's probably promoting Crown Jewel. So Rhea Ripley was not there for the save, and nobody else came out to save Io Sky. So Julia and Roxanne Perez just beat the crap out of Io Sky and left her laying there. And then I think it gets confirmed next week that we actually have a tag team match finally between these four. Io Sky and Julia taking on the team of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. And I'm assuming if Rhea and Io win, then they'll probably set up a rematch with Rhea and Io for that women's world title. So, something interesting to keep in mind. Okay, yeah, actually, something I didn't know, but Michael Cole did know Rhea Ripley was in Australia promoting WWE's return to Perth, so yeah, I did not know that. Yeah, she was in Australia, though, doing that, so she was nowhere to be seen. And then we had the in-ring return of Rusev taking on Otis. He absolutely squashed Otis. He squashed him. And then Akira Tozawa tries to come in and save him, because Rusev kept him in the accolade way longer than he should have. And then he gets super kicked and powerbombed on top of Otis, and pretty much that's how the segment ends. Rusev destroys Alpha Academy. There's really nothing much to it. Maxine Dupree's not happy about it. Yeah. This was really good for Rusev, though. It shows that he needs to continue to be a top star for WWE. And then we had a segment between Pat McAfee and Gunther. It's probably one of the matches that I'm the least excited for Backlash. I don't think a whole lot of people care about it. There are rumors that we could see Goldberg return, which could be exciting, and set up a feud there. But other than that, I'm not too excited for. I think Gunther's going to squash Pat McAfee, and then we're probably going to get Goldberg afterwards to make the save or something. That's probably what's going to be. Nothing crazy about this feud, really. Pat McAfee says he'll show Gunther that you're going to underestimate me and that I'll prove you wrong. I'll beat you at Backlash, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Gunther is going to squash him, just like Rusev squashed Otis. R.I.P. Otis. And then we had the main event finally, what we've all been waiting for. It's between Jey Uso and Seth freaking Rollins. Also, Jey Uso's in the main event, which hasn't happened in a while, by the way. Just to point that out. the whole time going into this, I'm thinking, well, Seth Rollins is going to win. There's no way Jey Uso's walking out of Raw as the World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to give him a 3-week title reign, though. I'm going back and forth with all these things. I'm like, Seth Rollins can't lose. Okay, but Jey Uso shouldn't lose. Like, what is going to happen here? So then, it kind of exploded already on the screen if you didn't already know. But CM Punk showed up, so he's here. But before I get into that, so, the Seth Rollins was about to win the match, first off. And then, I'm trying to think, if I remember correctly, because I haven't watched Raw in 2 days, but if I remember correctly, Sami Zayn showed up to stop Braun Breaker from interfering, because Braun Breaker was trying to cost Jey Uso the match and all that. Sami Zayn shows up and costs him, and then I'm thinking, oh shoot, well Jey Uso's about to win. But then Braun Breaker spears Sami Zayn, so then I'm thinking, oh okay, Seth Rollins is going to win. I just keep going back and forth with all these thoughts, right? And then Seth Rollins curb stomps Jey Uso and is about to pin him 1, 2, 3, and I'm thinking, oh god, Seth Rollins is about to be your new World Heavyweight Champion, first ever 2-time World Heavyweight Champion in this new era, because there was that old title, But anyways, I was thinking like, okay, Seth's about to win it again. But then CM Punk out of nowhere shows up, holding a chair. He hits Braun Breaker, and then he hits Seth Rollins, and the ref just runs out of there like a coward. So the bell never rung. There was no DQ call, no pinfall involved, nothing. It was just Raw went off the air with CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and technically Jey Uso standing tall, even though they were all a little weakened. Like Sami and Jey weren't 100%. But yeah, CM Punk came out and make the save. And then I don't know if this article will mention it. It may. I'm not sure. But something after the show took place, Raw went off the air, and nobody knew about this until after the fact, obviously. But Raw went off the air, and Logan Paul apparently attacked Jey Uso from behind, or sucker punched him, hit one lucky right on Jey Uso. And I'm assuming since that match didn't get confirmed for Backlash, it'll probably be the main event on Saturday's main event in 2 weeks from this Saturday, because that's the next PLE after Backlash that they're going to be doing. So that'll probably be at that show instead. And also to get into SmackDown side of things, they'll probably do a women's title match, maybe a Fatal 4-Way at Saturday's main event as well, since those matches didn't get confirmed for Backlash. Of all matches they confirmed for Backlash, I forgot to mention this earlier, but Dominic Mysterio vs. Penta actually got confirmed for the IC title as well at Backlash. I forgot to mention that earlier. I don't think Penta's winning because it's too early for Dom to lose it, but I wouldn't be mad either way. I don't really care who wins that. I thought this Raw was really good. It was surprisingly good, like the title says, because it wasn't like Raw after WrestleMania good, but normally the go-home shows are good, so I don't know. What did I expect? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like the video, please subscribe. I'm 22 subscribers away from reaching my goal by the end of the year. I'm trying to get to 50, and then we'll do some live streams together. And I also have some special announcements coming after that. So definitely stay tuned for that. Yeah. I'm going to be uploading a lot more of the summer. I'm just, I know this is kind of cringe for some of you, but I'm going to call it the Summer Gunner or Gunner Summer, because I plan to upload a lot of videos during the summer, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So definitely please support me. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed. But that's it. I'm going to catch y'all, and until we yeet again, deuces, ooses. Peace out.